Hi everyone, welcome to my New York City home. I live in Manhattan in Midtown West in a 1-bed, 1-bath. I love this apartment because of all the ones that I saw, this by far had the most space. What you're looking at is a walk-in closet. It's huge, and then that's one of 4 closets that I have in this space, which is absolutely unheard of, especially if you live in Manhattan. In this entryway, I actually picked up this gold antler from this beautiful shop on Polk Street when I lived in San Francisco. I think it's actually a jewelry holder, but I added some pearls to it and put my keys on it. This is a mirror that I picked up from Home Goods, and I actually just picked up this wooden bench from Home Goods as well a few weeks ago. I really wanted an area for people to sit when they were taking on or taking off their shoes, and I felt like this added a nice little touch for the entryway. What you're looking at now is the main room. This is the living area. I have my dining table to the right, and then you have the bedroom and the bathrooms to the left. We're all in quarantine right now, and so we're spending a ton of time at home, and this couch right here is where I spend the bulk of my time. This couch is actually from Room and Board. It's the Jasper couch, and I like it a lot because you can customize it. You can figure out what fabric you want, and I love that the chase piece you can actually move to either side. So for the longest time, I actually had it on the other side, and I recently moved it to this side because I wanted more of a divide between my dining and my living room, and I think it actually looks quite nice right there. The cream rug that you see is actually from Wayfair. I had my eye on that Moroccan fringe rug that everybody on the planet has, and I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I opted for this one. And then the rattan one on top I actually got randomly a while back. I can't remember from where, but it was too small for anywhere else, so I just layered it on top, and I think it makes it look quite cozy. That lamp over there is from Target. I'd seen it in an Airbnb when I was in Newport. And these curtains are from Amazon. They're just standard sheer curtains. I really wanted to create a dreamy Oasis feel, especially in juxtaposition with the concrete jungle that is outside. And with these very large windows, it was really difficult to find a rod that fit. And I'm so glad that I finally tracked one down and that these curtains worked out really well. This glass coffee table is from Wayfair, and while it's a little bit large for the space, I actually really like it now because I end up eating most of my meals here anyway, and it's more than enough space for when I'm eating by myself. So moving over here is actually my home office. So those of you that live in proper homes in the suburbs or just have more space, don't laugh. This is actually just my little nook over here. I recently started a new job that requires me to work remote, and it's my first time doing it. And so I'm trying to get used to having a proper space to go to. Now, ironically, this is before all the quarantines when everybody else joined me from work from home. So I just wanted a little spot that I could have in my apartment if I wasn't out on the client sites. These clear shelves are from IKEA. I have that hanging crystal from a good friend of mine in San Francisco, and I took that picture of those palm trees the last time that I was in LA. I have some additional plants and candles down here. The desk itself is from an antique shop here in New York. I picked it up when I first moved back to the city, and I'm so glad it finally found a good home in this corner. My favorite part about this area is actually the statement chair, which is from Target, of all places. So I wanted to flip things around so that you could see the apartment from this angle. As you can see, it's pretty sizable for a 1-bedroom in New York City. When I lived in New York the first time around, most of these spaces were actually 1-bedroom converted into 2. So I feel super, super fortunate that I get this entire space for myself. I'm so grateful to be back in New York City and to be living in one of my favorite neighborhoods. Coming back over here are my bookshelves, and these are your standard white wood leaning bookshelves. This pair is actually from Wayfair, and they're incredibly good quality, super sturdy, and really easy to put together. I tried really hard to make sure that the bookshelves were functional just as much as they are beautiful, and I hope that you think the same. I have a mixture of personal travel mementos as well as random tchotchke gifts from friends. This mirror was a gift from 10 years ago, and this chandelier print that you see is from an art fair in San Francisco, and I got it my first week there. Coming over to this side, I loved the look of this Chanel card, so I ended up framing it, and as you can see, I have quite a few more plants. Through this exercise, I realized I have a ton of yellow and red books, so I ended up grouping them all together. That's a picture of my parents in the sunflower field, and then I have another print that I picked up in Mexico City down here. Over here is just my television. As you can see, it's pretty standard, and normally I don't watch a ton of television, but in these quarantine times, I'm definitely getting a ton of mileage out of my streaming accounts. One of the things about this apartment is that there's actually no built-in overhead lights, which is something that I've actually never experienced in any of my apartments. So I've had to exercise a lot of creative control in regards to figuring out what floor lights work the best. And unfortunately, I don't get to realize my dream of having an overhead chandelier. And over here is my bar cart. I do have to admit that I've actually significantly cut down on the amount that I drink, and I'm always a social drinker, but I love the look of a good bar cart. And when I saw this, I just knew I had to have it in my apartment to tie everything together. I know that looks like a very random assortment of alcohol, but most of them were gifts from friends, and I've just had them up there. I think bar carts are such a great way to display all your random finds. I have a lot of things from vintage and flea markets, as well as crafts and things that mean a lot to me. And below, I have a bunch of wine because there is nothing I love more than to have a proper dinner party with good friends. And over here is my dining area. I actually feel super fortunate to have a proper dining space. And this table here seats 4 to 6 comfortably. This mirror here reflects a lot of great light, and I think it really pulls the space together. It's actually really old and heavy, and I took it from my parents the last time that I was there. This table here is just your standard one from IKEA. I actually bought it when I first moved here with the intention of swapping it out, but I just kept it and swapped out the chairs, which I got in various shops in New York. The things on top of the table I got mostly from Bali, except for the dried flowers, which I picked up at the Union Square Flower Market. So coming over here, I want to show you guys my kitchen. I actually love that my kitchen is in a separate room, but the only thing that I wish I had was a window. So I wanted to take the opportunity to really go outside of my comfort zone and do something that is loud and bold and fun. So I know that I'm using 2 different prints here, and it's probably taboo in a real designer world, but I couldn't decide between the 2, and I just ended up using both. So in January of this past year, my girlfriends and I went to Miami, and the hotel that we stayed at had this beautiful palm print, and the trip was so much fun, and so I wanted to bring a little piece of that back home with me. I ended up finding a similar print like this, and I knew that the kitchen was the perfect space to try it out. The first time that I put up a panel, I was shocked at how much it opened up the space. And since I don't have a window, I feel like this is a happy medium and brightens up the entire place. Now this wallpaper print is actually from Home Depot, and I'm super impressed with the quality of it. It's thick, it's very easy to put on, and I'm in a rental, so it's really, really important that if I'm decorating, I can easily bring it back to its original state so I can get my deposit back. So turning around this way, we have my linen slash shoe closet. I'm not showing you guys any of the 4 closets that I have right now. So if you guys are interested, I'm certainly happy to do that in a future video. So go ahead and put that in the comments below and I will see what I can do if you guys are interested in that organization. So over here is a velvet and leather hanging vase that I actually got as a gift. I like it a lot. It came with those yellow fronds. And then I got this beautiful peony bouquet last year and I just ended up drying it and putting that in there. So moving over here is my bathroom. As you can see, it's just kind of very run-of-the-mill, nothing super modern. So I tried my best to make it a very relaxing space. I wanted to bring in many natural elements and keep it as simple as possible. I ended up getting those bamboo trays, which I've put some plants, some of the things that I use the most. As you can see, there's brushes, some bath salts, and some of my favorite perfumes. I do love that I have 3 medicine cabinets, so I have plenty of storage space, as well as some areas under the sink. As you can see, I went ahead and added a fake plant. Now, normally I'm not a huge fan of faux plants, but I saw this one and I felt like it looked really real and it was great quality, and I actually get a lot of compliments on it. So I'd say 10 out of 10 on being a faux plant. I think it adds a great pop of color in a otherwise windowless space. As you can see, I have plenty of toilet paper, which is this year's hottest currency. And up here are these shelves that I'm actually super proud of. I put them up there myself, and I think they lend to the overall aesthetic of the room. I tried to emulate a spa environment with succulents, white towels, and some candles. Over here is my shower. Nothing too eventful, but I am really glad that I have a proper bathtub, and I love these shelves. It gives me ample room to put all of my things on, and these tiles are actually super easy to clean. Over here is my eucalyptus, and it's actually dual function. It smells really nice and it adds to the greenery in the room. So turning around over here is a very standard sink. And I don't know if you saw that tray on top of the toilet earlier, but it's actually where I keep all of my sunglasses. I found it to be such a great spot because the dust doesn't get there and I have to clean it a lot less. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm actually not going to show you guys the insides of any of my closets, but I did want to give you a quick peek of one of my medicine cabinets so you can kind of get a sense for the space. I love to organize, so if you are interested in seeing how I organize my closets, go ahead and comment below and I will think about it for a future video. So turning around one final time brings us to the last room in the apartment, which is my bedroom. Those that live in Manhattan or are familiar with the real estate here, you know how rare it is to find an actual proper sized 1-bedroom, and I feel really fortunate to have all this space. I currently have a queen size bed, and as you can see, I have more than enough room for nightstands, a large mirror, and a desk. So if you wanted to, you can definitely put a king size bed in here. That chandelier print is from Wayfair, and that dream catcher is from Bali, and the mirror is Amazon. And as you can see, I have 2 large closets in here to hold all of my clothes. I got this jewelry hook in a vintage shop in San Francisco, and I actually found this hilarious unicorn lamp at Target. I love this singing bowl that a good friend of mine got me from Nepal, and I just have some random books on the nightstand. Over here is my Himalayan salt lamp, as well as a plant, and I've recently been trying to be a lot more sustainable with the clothing that I purchase, and so I have been trying to get rid of clothes that I don't wear a lot by selling them online, and then I use this to think about style inspo as well. I love those velvet curtains from IKEA because they actually work really, really well. I have such trouble sleeping, and they are the perfect blackout curtains for this space. Over here is my photo gallery wall. Travel is my #1 passion in life, and I took all of these photos myself. I read that you should put up something happy and inspiring as the first thing that you see when you wake up. And this concludes my New York City apartment tour. I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. It was my first time making a video and I had so much fun doing it. So if you don't mind and you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button and let me know if you want to see anything else. And stay well.